record. Okay, I'm so excited. Let me look in the chat. Let me see who we got. Tell me a little bit. I see we have one who is testing in 2 weeks. I see December, I see November. So this is really exciting. So I wanted to give some free classes just so that you can get to know me, get to know my style, because I do have a class series coming up in November and December. So I'm like really, really excited. Yes, go ahead and drop in. When are you gonna test? Let me know so I kind of know what you guys are planning for. And it's okay. Hey, it's okay if you don't have a test date yet. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to keep my chat box up as well. So I want to tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Dr. Sapphire Boone, and I am the owner of Advanced Social Work Solutions. So Advanced Social Work Solutions just actually started. It started back in 2020, right before the pandemic. I thought I was going to have an in-person licensure prep, but the pandemic said no. So here we are in 2021. I've done this series of classes quite a few times, but what I really want to tell you is that I actually teach licensure prep all the time. So I actually work for Morgan State University, and I run a grant program, a child welfare workforce grant program that actually trains child welfare workers. So stand up, holla if you're a child welfare worker. We have something in common, okay? And I actually do licensure prep. I've been doing licensure prep for the past, since 2013. So it's been 7 years that I've been working for Morgan and training. So shout out to Baltimore City DSS, yes. Shout out to Morgan State University. Shout out to all of Baltimore, Maryland. But I know we have so many people here that are from different states. So I'm excited about that too. I'm excited to meet you. Some of the names I've seen and I'm like, I know exactly who you are. And some of the names I'm like, looks familiar. So I'm so glad whether you are new to me or whether we are old friends. I'm really excited to help you on your journey. I have my BSW, I have my MSW, and I also have my PhD in social work. Whoop, whoop, got that in 2019, was really, really hard. I also passed my LMSW on the first try, so that's the master's level. And I have an LCSW. So in Maryland, LCSW is actually an advanced generalist license. Some states have it, some states don't. All that means is that I am not clinical, okay, by any means at all, okay? So my business partner, she is very clinical. So, I have it. I'm like maybe, in spirit clinician, but that's not my jam. My jam is teaching. So that's why I'm here for you. So if you're taking your clinical, it's okay. Even though this says how to pass the LMSW with ease, whether you're taking your associate or bachelor's level, your clinical, your master's level, advanced generalist, all of the things I'm going to be talking about tonight, and all of my classes are beneficial. It's designed for the master's level, but it's really beneficial for all levels because the test questions is really what you need help with, right? The content, you can pretty much get that on your own. I do break down a lot of concepts, but the concepts you can pretty much get on your own. It's just maybe having a hard time memorizing them, but the strategy, now that's my niche, okay? That's where I'm at. So we're going to talk about tonight is a little bit of how to get started. How do I study? What do I study? And you guys are going to be the expert as well. And then we're also going to talk about mindset, because for me, mindset work is probably even more important than learning the content, right? Because if you can know everything, go into the test and not have the right mindset, not and get thrown off by the questions, and then there goes your attempts, right? It's all the way down the drain. So I see you guys shouting out. I love it. Prince George County, whoop whoop, Boston, yes. Child Advocacy Center. Yes, yes, I love it. All of it. Tampa, I need to go there. Washington, D.C., New York. Yes, Maryland. Yes. Okay, I'm so excited. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, this is really important. BCDSS, yes. Alabama, New Orleans, Connecticut, yes, love y'all. Okay, name your why. This is really important. Sometimes people don't like the touchy-feely, right? They're like, okay, skip this part. Just let me get to the part where you tell me how to pass, right? So I wish I could wave like a magic wand and everybody that talks to me would pass automatically. That would be great. And I would do that. I wish I could tell you every question that's going to be on the test. I wish I could do all of those things, but I cannot do that. So for me, naming your why is really, really important. It's very important because you can kind of get off track. But if you have your focus, you know why you're trying to get your LMSW, this is really important. So I always say, ask why to your questions, right? Why do I want the LMSW? Well, I want the LMSW to make more money. Well, why do I want to make more money, right? Keep going, keep peeling the layers, keep going deeper, because I want you to get to the big picture. What is the big picture? Because a lot of people could be discouraging. I don't know if you've felt this. Hey, Lisa. A lot of people could be discouraging and say, you know what? You don't need your license. Has anyone ever said that? You don't need it. Some states, you might not need it, right? Or you've been doing the work for 15 years, you know, why try to pass the test now, right? So really figure out what your why is. Yeah. So in Maryland, you have to have your license to be called a social worker, but not every state is like that. And some, you know, they actually will give up their entire social work career because of this test. So I am here, and the reason why I even started doing licensure prep and started my company is because I don't want anyone to stop their calling because of this test, okay? Now, when I get into my advocacy work around this test, you know, we can dig deeper about like, why do we have to take the test? Why is it scored the way it is? Why are the test questions the way it is? But for right now, we're not going to get into that because I just want you to pass it at this point, okay? Maybe a little later we can dig into why and kind of do some petition work and advocacy work, because it really, really could be discouraging when you fail. So tonight we're going to talk about how to get started and also how to regroup, because this test is really about perseverance. Like I've worked with a client who has failed multiple times, like in the teens, like 13, 14, right? And she finally passed, right? And so I'm not saying that you're gonna be going through that path, right? But what I am saying is that it can be done, and I'm here to encourage you and give you the tools in order to get there. So name your why, okay? Let's talk about anxiety. Okay, I have anxiety. Okay, being a mom, being a new mom is very anxiety provoking. But let me tell you something. If you plan for the content and you do not plan for your anxiety, it's going to be a big mistake. Why do I say that? It's kind of talking about mindset, right? Everyone has anxiety, but it's about how you can manage it, right? So what kind of anxiety may come up? Think about it, right? Think about general anxiety disorder. Think about that. Okay. Think about PTSD, right? Some of you may have a little bit of symptoms from PTSD. I'm not saying you had PTSD, but I'm saying that some of these symptoms you're going through it right now or have gone through it. You have a general fear of taking the test. You're worrying about not being able to remember the content, okay? You have a fear of not being able to settle your physical responses, right? So if you're restless, you're tired, you're shaking, you have to be able to settle those things. You may get a headache, your heart rate may go up, right? You may get some shortness of breath. You may have some nausea, feel a lump in your throat, have to keep going to the bathroom, right? All of these things are because you're anxious. And I'm not saying that you won't experience them, but what I am saying is that you have to have a plan on how to manage it. Okay. Because what happened to me with my LMSW, it didn't happen the second time, but it definitely happened with my LMSW test, is that I took I got into the exam. I did everything right. I drove the day before. I knew where I was at. I arrived really early. I did all of those things. But when I got into the test center, I froze. I took the practice exam. I did everything right, but I froze. Okay. And so what did I do? I had to lean on something. And so it's really important that you lean on your ability to bring yourself back. So whatever brings yourself back, that's what I need you to work on. And I need you to work on that every time you study. So for me, and this is something I can also put in the chat box too, just remind me before we leave, is I have a list of scriptures. Now, not everybody subscribes to the Bible. You might have other things that encourages you, but for me it was scripture, and I would read a certain scripture every time I study. Okay. When you're naming your why, if it's your children, if it's that big house, if it's a mansion, if it's a car, print that stuff out. Okay. Or you could make a collage on your phone as well, and make it your screensaver, right? You have to, if you're visual, you have to be able to see it and ground yourself. It's called grounding. I do know that. I'm not a clinician, but I know about grounding. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. Because when I got in there, what I did was I skipped every question that made me feel bad. So for me, that was the first 60. Okay. I skipped the first 60 questions. Why? Because I was anxious and I already had a game plan that I was going to skip ones I didn't know, or I would skip ones that would take me too much time. You know how you read it 4 times? I'm not going to read a question 4 times. If I don't get it within the first, go through and it seems difficult, I'm going to skip it and come back to it, right? That was my strategy. So that's why I skipped the first 60. But I calmed down. I was able to, talk to myself, talk to my higher power, calm down, and I was able to tell myself I can do it and I know the answer. Like some questions, after you understand what the questions are asking you, you should be able to pick out the answer. So a lot of times you guys will send me questions. You won't send me the answer, right? So I still need the answer because I need to know what the answer is just to make sure I'm right. But I would say 80% of the time I will get it right because I know what they're looking for, right? So you have to be able to know what they're looking for. This is going to ease your anxiety a little bit, right? And I'm also going to teach you a strategy next week so you have something to rely on to get you past your anxiety, right? Yeah, and we talked about that. You might be having some disrupted sleep patterns. Let me know. Are you guys having trouble with concentrating? Are you having some irritability? Are you having some intrusive thoughts? Are you just avoiding studying altogether? That might be why you're on the call tonight, because you're avoiding it altogether, right? So I'm telling you, if you ignore these things and just be like, well, I'm just going to have disrupted sleep because I'm a social worker, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm just going to be disrupted, right? Don't do that to yourself. You have to have some type of self-care and figure out how you can help yourself sleep, because that's not good. Okay, yes, not knowing where to start, so you procrastinate. Hopefully by the end of this video and by the end of this talk, you will know where to start. And your motivation, again, is going to come from your why. And we talked about it a little bit before, right? Establishing a routine. You have that granola butter, you have that Megan Thee Stallion playing, or whatever gets you motivated. So we're going to talk about that. So this is just a little bit about the tests, right? So you have the LMSW. All the exams have 170 questions. 20 of them are unscored, okay? what I want you to do, if you have not done it already, is look at the ASWB KSA, and that's aswb.org. Okay. So go ahead, go to that website so that you can look at the content outline so you'll know like what's on the test. And then if anyone is watching on Facebook Live, if you have any questions or have anything you want to talk about, go ahead and put it on Facebook Live as well, okay? Because I'm looking at it now. Yeah, avoiding studying, yes. Difficulty concentrating, yeah. And we're going to talk about how to regroup as well, because it's all a mind game, right? Because you could give up, but why? Why give up? Why let them win? And when I say them, it's whoever created this system that you have to pass a test in order to be, you know, social worker, or in order to, you know, be able to advance in social work, okay? So the test is 4 hours long, if you didn't know. And this is a lot. If you never have sat for 4 hours straight in front of a computer with other people, I mean, you can't really simulate the other people being around typing, but other people in your space that's also taking an exam, that could be an essay exam and they're typing, that annoyed me, okay? If you're not used to that, that by itself will throw you off, right? Being in a space for 4 hours straight will throw you off. Do not let your test attempt be the first time. Go ahead and practice that, okay? And then the scoring. So we always hear myths about the scoring. And so I don't know, because I'm not on the board. I don't know exactly the science of it, but I do know what they tell us, right? They tell us that the scoring is from 90 to 107. 90 meaning you have the hardest test. The questions are harder, okay? And 107 means you have easier questions, okay? And therefore you need to get more right. Okay, so, you know, some will say, well, I'm not gonna go to Lord Baltimore Drive because everybody fails that goes there, right? Do you have that in your state? Do you have like a test center that nobody goes to because everyone fails? I also hear in Maryland, people will go to DC to pass the test and then come back to Maryland because like they're figuring that DC is easier. It could be true. It could be true. I'm not sure if your test center has different tests, or the test center only has one test, right? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure how many test versions are in Maryland or are in Alabama, right? I'm not sure. So those things are unsure. So all you can do is make sure that you pass, right? Make sure that you know enough to be able to pass. Okay, where to start? First, I want you to select your study material. Somebody tell me what study material you guys are using. Go ahead, put it in the chat box, put it on the comments. I'm looking at the comments as well. Tell me what you're studying. Any of these things on the screen, or I know there are a lot of material. Yes, TDC is very famous. Dawn Apgar, absolutely. Dr. Boone, thank you for the shout out. Yes, SWES, yes. Phil Latrell, absolutely. Dr. Pam, let me talk to you about Dr. Pam Turner. She's a keeper. Okay, I like her. Agents of Change, absolutely. We're going to talk about them too in terms of videos. Okay, let me see. Y'all telling me? Okay, I see Apgar. Yeah, Agents of Change. Yeah, I think once you guys get into the Facebook group, the LMSW, LCSW study group or whatever, you kind of see the same materials that people use. So let me tell you which ones are good to see if it's a good fit for you. Okay, so you have two types of study material, really three types actually. I'm gonna say three types. Oh yes, you guys are getting ahead of me. Yes, visual tactile learner. Yes, I love it. Yes, I was just about to say, it depends on your learning style. If you are okay with reading a book and that's it, Then Dawn Apgar is great. She also has an app where you can study on the go, and she also has questions on there, okay? So she gives you kind of both. She gives you the hands-on and she gives you the visual as well, okay? If you are also Leap, I didn't say anybody say Leap, but Leap is really good. Dawn Apgar is simple. So when I studied for the master's level, I had a simple test book, and I had a more comprehensive book. The comprehensive book was one that I was gifted, right? So then I needed like social work for dummies. I think it literally had big print and everything because I needed something quick where I didn't have to like do a lot of thinking. Pocket prep is great. Just know for pocket prep that it's not like the test. But what it is going to do is it's going to challenge you and test you on the concepts. Same thing with Dawn Apgar. Some of her questions are similar, and then some of them are for content. Okay, same thing with Leap. Leap is a little more similar to the test, but more for content. Quizlet is good. Yep. How can you find out what kind of learner you are? There is a learning style quiz. There's a learning style quiz, and I'll make sure to post that as well. And what I'll do is if we don't get to it tonight, I'll post it on my Facebook page tomorrow, okay? Yeah, yep, there's an online test, yes. I took mine with the 1-day boot camp, absolutely, yep. So do you need a book or do you need a program? So TDC is a whole program. It's structured, has audio with it. And so if you are an audio learner and also visual, then that would be a good choice. Yes, pocket prep is for content. Your best bet for how to test yourself with the types of questions is going to be the practice test from ASWB because they are retired questions. So sometimes when I ask people that have failed, not most people take the practice, but there are a few that will say, I didn't take the practice test. And I'm like, no, you need to take the practice test. So it is $85, okay? But, you know, it is an extra cost. But I say the extra cost is worth it because the screen is the exact same screen you're going to get on the test day. So it's kind of like almost a little bit like cheating. Like you get to literally go through it. I'm a visual learner, so TDC is not a good fit for me. And I when I said visual learner for TDC, I did think about that because I do understand what you're saying. And I've heard people say that before, that TDC and visual doesn't sometimes go together. Can you take the practice test twice? Good question. So please, okay, there's two answers. You could, but it's the same, yes, it's the same exact test. So I suggest, I have clients that do that, but they don't remember anything from the first one. But if you're like me, you're gonna remember every question and it's not gonna be beneficial. So my recommendation for the practice test is to take it when you are about to test, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before your test, because that gives you enough time to study it. That's the other thing some people don't do. They take the test, they pass it, and then they don't look at it, right? You have to study those questions, study the rationale. All right, yes, someone give some information about Quizlet. I have a Quizlet that I can pass around as well. I need to take notes about this. Let me take some notes. So Quizlet, learning style quiz. These are some things that I'm going to make sure we have that I gave you. It was something else I was supposed to give you too. I don't know, I already forgot. Quizlet. This mommy brain is like real. Quizlet, learning style quiz. And it was something else. I can't remember. You remember? I don't know. Okay. Does the practice test show you questions you got wrong and the explanations? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's why I love it. And I want you to study those things. Okay, social worker test prep sounds good. Is LEAP good for tactile and visual? So, okay, so good question. So LEAP, the it has a program as well, kind of. So it has the guide that you see here. This is the 2019 edition. So they might have a updated edition, but that's like the study guide. But they also have an online quiz that's extra, though it's extra. And they also have, yes, they also have other audio on there as well. So it just depends. So for me, I'm visual. So I literally wrote notes. I had a notebook with colors. If you're visual, use colors. I have like, it's kind of a photographic memory. So by studying and looking, I can like recall it in my mind. So if that's something that you do, flashcards is good, but just make sure you use lots of colors so that you remember the color. Like I would remember like that was highlighted in pink. Right? Okay, that was on page 4, highlighted in pink, but what did it say? I can't remember, right? So you want to be able to do that. If you're tactile or hands-on, you want to do a lot of practice questions as well. But when you do your practice questions, don't get discouraged. How many of you guys and girls, you take practice questions, you bomb it, and then you get discouraged? Don't ever get discouraged, okay? Because it's all about improving. So you have to be positive. I'm positive. So you have to, yes, list of scriptures. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. That was what I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you. Y'all are great. List of scriptures. I'm writing it down. So make sure that you guys are not getting discouraged by taking test questions. You guys will literally take 10 test questions and then you'll give me the percentage. Like social workers are never about numbers until this exam, I'm telling you. They'll be like, during my classes, they'll be like, well, I got 7 out of 10, I got a 70, or I got 4 out of 10, I'm terrible. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you want to elevate your confidence and not decrease it, right? Elevate, not decrease. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I don't know why the scribblies come up. I'm not sure. I don't know how to control that. I think someone is just like doing something and then it comes up. I have no idea. Okay, so where to start? It's gonna bother me. Is it gonna go away? Okay, it's going away magically. I don't know. Okay, transfer the study material in a way that benefits your learning style. So we just talked about that, but here is what you need to be doing. Visual, like I said, colors, you want to write things down, note cards, Quizlet, things like that. I do really well with charts. Even in my everyday life, if you're on the phone telling me something, you're trying to get me to see that it makes sense, then that, I don't like that, right? I just want to make sure everyone can hear me and see me. Let me know in the chat box. Okay. I don't know what's going on Facebook. Hopefully it comes back. So if you're auditory, you want to say things out loud. That actually helped me too, but I'm mostly visual, but it also helped me with that as well. So you want to make sure that you are saying things out loud. So you might not want to write a whole lot of things down, but you definitely want to make sure that you are using your auditory. Sometimes you even want to, you could record your own self instead of paying for a recording. You might want to listen to your voice more than others, right? So you could do that as well. I have Phil Luttrell here because he's good for auditory. Also, if you're visual too, YouTube is your friend. YouTube and Google, I would say Google too. YouTube and Google are your friend. So there's a lot of free videos. Dr. Pam Turner has a lot of free videos. I forget her, I always forget the name because it's Agents of Change, and then I think hers is like World Changers or something like that. They're so similar. So both of them have really good videos. I don't have so many videos, but I'm working on it. But I have some videos as well. And then we're going to do some, free classes next week too. So hands-on learner, again, you might even want to act it out. You want to have people to actually ask you questions and quiz you for any of the learners. But particularly hands-on, you want somebody to talk to you about that stuff. Thank you for bringing that up. So Yes. So you will see a lot of acronyms. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more next week, but go with the acronym that works for you. If it's confusing you, I've had clients say they use certain acronyms, then they get to the actual testing site, and then they're like, which one do I use? I know too much. Farm Grits Road and all the different types of stuff, right? Yeah, it's so many. Yes, Eat Pie, I think, or something like that. That one's good. That one's a good one. But there are some that are so confusing. So just make sure you're not confusing yourself. Also, I wanted to say with the material, make sure you're not using 5 material study guides. You don't need that. You don't need all that. I would say some people say they just want to do 1. I'm okay with you doing 2. Yeah, 2 is good. 3 is like if you're using like the DSM-5 quick study guide, you're using like pieces. But just don't, you know how you just collect stuff and you just have this big binder full of like, it's like 200 pages worth of stuff. Don't do that. Okay. I'm here to simplify everything for you. Because I don't want you to be confused. So step 1, know your why. Step 2, what's your study materials? Really important. My material, so for those that said Dr. Bloom, thank you. My material is great, but I always say it's a supplement, okay? Because you have to have a comprehensive study guide. So I haven't written a book. I haven't written a study guide book yet. It's just PowerPoints, and the PowerPoints are like bullet points, right? It goes through the material really quickly. So sometimes you may say, well, I don't see this term in your material because it's not comprehensive. It's to break down, the main points. And then there are terms that you need to know that may not be in my material, but that's okay. Yes, not yet, Nikita. Hey, Nikita. So just make sure, keep that in mind, because sometimes, I get in trouble, but it's okay. It's not supposed to be like that. Oh, how long do you have access to the practice exam? Very good question, China. So you have 30 days for the practice exam once you hit the button, which is the launch button. So you could purchase it and not hit the launch button for a little time. I mean, I don't think that part expires, but once you hit it, yes, with ASWB, once you hit launch and actually take the test, you have 30 days to review what's going on with your answers and the rationales and things like that. Okay, review study questions. So it's really important, like we said on the last slide, to transfer the material, because who is just going to read a book like a novel? Nobody, right? So you're going to put it in a way that you can comprehend it. It's very important. If you don't put the material in a way you can comprehend it, that's probably why you don't want to study, because it's too overwhelming. So break it down. Go topic by topic, right? Don't study everything all at once, right? Don't be like, okay, well, today I'm going to study human behavior. Tomorrow I'm going to study community, right? But you never finish human behavior. That's not good, right? You want to go through the topics together. And I will pause and say that some people take the practice test first and study the practice test, and they may not even really open a book. So you may be that person, you may not. I don't know. I don't know if you want to risk it. I don't know. But you know how you learn, hopefully. Review your study questions. Not all study questions are created equal. We just talked about that. And I do still want you to take all the practice tests that you can, even though pocket prep may not be like the test, even though certain other material may be testing you for content, you still need it. You still need to test yourself for content, but you need to make sure that you understand what the questions look like on the test and figure out how to strategize those questions, okay? So we just talked about this. And make sure that when you take that ASWB full practice test, it is $85 on ASWB's website. Make sure that you're taking it fully with a mask. If your state still requires a mask, put that mask on. Maybe put a mask on that you can breathe in. Okay. Make sure not to eat within that 4 hours because you can't eat when you're there. I think they do allow you to get water now because of the mask requirement. Just depends, right? So double check all those things, right? What can you have? Can you have a protein bar? Can you get water, right? Because you have a locker. So it depends on the testing site. When you take your practice test, limit your distractions and pay attention to timing. So go ahead and time yourself. Don't have your phone right there. Don't have any distractions at all. Okay, step 2, make a plan, set a date. You guys have some dates. Even if you're not sure or you're a little intimidated, I want you to at least apply to be approved by your board in your state to take the test. Typically, well, actually, I don't know. In Maryland, we have a whole year that our board approval is good for. What about in your state? Tell me what's going on in your state. How long is your board approval for? Do you have a cap on how many times you can take the test? Let me know. Okay, 1 year or taking it 3 times. Ooh. So with the 1 year in Arkansas, can you re-up or is that it? 3 times in Alabama? Oh no. I don't like that. How can we change that? We're gonna work on it. Because that's not fair. 3 times? Oh, okay. And then you meet with the board for approval. Okay, for another 3 attempts. Okay, that's better. Waive 90 days after a fail. Okay, some states will do, some states allow that, some states don't. Let me see. What do we got? Oh, can you wear earplugs to lessen the distracting noises? So ask your test center that, right? Because in my test center, I had noise. I don't know if they were noise canceling, but I had they weren't earmuffs. They were earmuffs. They were really big though. So I'm not sure. Go ahead and check with your test center about that. There's not a cap in Maryland. No, there's no cap in Maryland. It's just the year, and then you just re-up for another year if it expires. In Baltimore, they give you headphones. Yeah, headphones. I couldn't think of it. Earmuffs. That's old. Okay, a year. Is this the same material for the LSW? Oh, that's what I wanted to say too. So every state has different acronyms. So a lot of times you'll say like, for example, LSW. I have no idea what that means because in my state, we don't have an LSW, right? So just let me know what level that is because I'm not sure if that's the master's level or if that's the clinical level or the associate's level. Everyone has the same levels, but they call it different things. So I'm just assuming that LSW is like a LMSW, like a master's level. Is that right? I'm not sure. Tammy, let me know if that was what you. Licensed social worker. Oh, that's what LSW means. Okay. Oh, master's level, bachelor's level. Okay. Yes. So this material that I'm going over and for all my classes, again, it's geared towards the MSW level, but it is beneficial for all levels. When we go over material, I always talk about what's the difference. So the bachelor's level just has different categories, right? Different percentages. So bachelor's is more focused on theory. Okay. The the master's level is kind of like everything. And then the clinical level is more focused on clinical practice. You would think it's really focused on diagnosing. It is not. It's more focused on clinically, how do you practice? What are your steps clinically, right? Okay. So make a plan, set a date. How long should I study? It really is up to you how long you should study. But what I suggest is that you study at least 3 months. Some people do study within 2 weeks and pass. Those are anomalies, in my opinion. Some people need more than 3 months. Some people need 6 months. Okay. So it's just really up to you. Okay, LSW is master's level in some states. Yeah, so I just need to know the level because sometimes all of the acronyms, confusing. Yeah. So how often? So if you are traumatized right now from a failed attempt, I say, and I think I have this here. Hold on, let me just, okay, how to regroup. I want to talk about how to regroup just for a second. Give yourself time to process your feelings because a lot of times you're going to feel disappointment. Okay. You're going to feel depressed sometimes, right? You're going to feel like you're not a good social worker. I literally am in this licensure prep for you. I don't ever want anyone to feel like that. Okay. Because you are enough. This test does not define who you are as a person, as a social worker. And I know that we hold ourselves to a high standard, right? Especially if you do well in school. It's like so frustrating. You're like, I got straight A's in school. Or you'll be like, I don't need to study because I got straight A's in school, right? But honestly, it's just about the test. Literally, my husband, I'm gonna shout out my husband. My husband, he is he's a not a correctional, I'm sorry. He is criminal justice. So he's not even in the field of social work. He has had social work jobs, but he's not in the field of social work. But when he reads the test questions, he actually gets them right. You know why? Because his perspective is different. It's kind of more objective. But because we're social workers, our perspective is very subjective, right? Because we work with families and we're an expert in our field. So we're like, well, I can write a treatment plan like the back of my hand. But when you get to the test, they ask you about treatment plans, you get it wrong, right? So it makes you feel like you're less than. So you need time to process your feelings. But anybody that talks to me and you say how disappointed you are and you're upset, I'm fine with that. But you got to get out of it eventually. You can't stay there. Some people it may take them a whole year to get over it. They may never get over it. Like I said, some people switch careers because of this test. Yeah, that was me. Absolutely. Yeah. So just make sure. Yeah. Yep. Teachers. Yep. My husband's now a teacher. Yep. Get them mostly. Yes, they get them right. It's so irritating, first of all, because you're like, you're not a social worker. Get away from me. Stop talking about how you got it right. It's not fair, But they're thinking more objectively than we are, right? So we just have to make sure. 30 days. Yeah. Don't be in that funk for long. I'm telling you. And make sure you have some accountability partners. I can be your accountability partner if you're feeling in a funk. I do respond to all emails. I might not respond to calls, but I do respond to all emails and text messages. You got to get out the funk because this test can't beat you up. Don't let it beat you up. But it's very normal and it's expected for you to feel that way. Take a break. Some people don't take a break, but I say take a break. Okay. Yes. Social work for 32 years. Yes. 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 And you practicing social work for 32 years is awesome, right? What I don't want you to do is get into studying and then lose your confidence because of the test. Because the test does not care about your 32 years of experience, actually. It doesn't care about anybody's experience. And that's the part that is like crazy. You're like, again, you could de-escalate a client in 2 seconds, right? You can work with that substance abusing mother, right? And then you get to the test and you're like, why can't I get anything right? This is stupid, right? But these are things I want you to ask yourself. Did I second guess myself? And when I say second guess, I don't mean that you change your answer, because what happens, the second guessing happens in your mind. If you don't go with the first answer, your gut answer, if you change your answer in your mind, then that's second guessing, right? So typically in my classes, what will happen is I'll reveal the answer and you'll be like, that's what I picked at first, right? So when you're in the testing center, you can't really do that. You can't do that, right? Because you don't know what the answer is in the testing center. But when we go over practice questions together, I already know the answers because I made it up. And, we'll go over the rationale. And the best thing I want you to do is learn from it, right? So how did I second guess myself? I'm telling you, for those that change answers in that test center and then aren't successful, we don't know, but it could be that. It could be that you're second guessing yourself. How did your anxiety show up? Did it show up? A lot of times what happens is that you see a question you've never seen before, and I'm here to break it to you. All of them you've never seen before. So I'm so sorry, but it's going to happen. And so sometimes seeing that question about a transgender male client throws you completely off. I did not study the transgender community. I did not study this. I don't know this term. And then it throws you off for the whole time. Anybody? Has that happened? It's okay. It happens to the best of us, yes. Some people, they just need to see the questions a couple times, right? It sucks because you have to pay every time and then they pass, right? Some people, it's like one time and they pass the second time. Some people, it's like a couple times and they pass like third, fourth time, right? So it just depends. Yes, macro questions. I know, I understand. They took you out. I know, they took you out. It's okay. It happens and it's okay. Everybody wants to say, I passed on the first try. But guess who cares about that? Let me tell you, from being in social work, as long as I've been in social work, nobody has asked me, did I pass on the first try, except for people who are studying, right? No professional, I'm not in any meeting, any university meeting, and people are asking me, did I pass on the first try? And guess what? Guess what I'm here to tell you? You won't believe it. CEOs of your companies, directors, professors have failed the test multiple times. I'm not lying. And guess what? They still make a six figures. They're still teaching you, right? So don't get caught up in that. I'm so truthful about that. I know a professor, especially that clinical exam is hard. That clinical exam is hard. And people I know, mentors, have failed it multiple times, right? Because it has nothing to do, I could be on this soapbox forever. It has nothing to do with you, okay? It's about the test. Direct the anger towards the test, not you. Don't take it out on yourself, okay? What can I do differently? Is there something you think you need to do differently? Did I need more time? Okay, timing is really important. If you keep running out of time, you may need an accommodation. You may need to apply for an accommodation. There are many different types of accommodation. The only ones I can tell you about are the ones that I've heard my clients have. You could get an extra hour. You could get an extra 2 hours. You could, a lot of people run out of time. You could get, I had a client have a paper test. I think that she had a little bit more going on. It wasn't just anxiety, I need more time. It was like, I have some documents of some history of some, educational challenges where I need a paper test. So, don't think that you're just going to get one. Okay. So running out of time, you might need an extra hour. So I do help. I can't help 100 people at one time, but I do help with the application for accommodations. And something I do for free. I just like helping people, right? So if you are like, oh my goodness, how do I word this so that it makes sense? Because if you just say, I need an extra hour, they're not going to give it to you, right? Even if you have it well documented and have it written well, they may disapprove you, but you're just going to keep appealing it or keep applying for it until you get it, okay? Because you really do need it, right? And you want to say why you need it. So we just, I love killing somebody. I like writing nice, nasty stuff. I love it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Okay. So also, do you need a tutor? So unfortunately, I no longer do one-on-one just because of my life and my peace. I told you I'm not a clinician, so after an hour and a half, I'm tapped out. So after doing that with 8 clients in one day, I just couldn't do it anymore. I'm so sorry. I really loved it. It just drained all the life out of me. Okay. It was really fun. So that's why I do groups. So I don't do individual, but I do recommend Dr. Pam Turner she's like a general one. Again, me and her, we talk on Messenger. She's really cool. I really support her. And then if you're local and you want a one-on-one, I have someone for you too. Just, message me and I'll let you know about that person. Also, if you're regrouping, you may not need new or additional material. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes you'll be like, oh my gosh, I need like 5 more books. But you just have to regroup. You just have to yeah, I know Dr. Pam does have a wait list. I'm sorry, but she's still really good, but she has a wait list. Okay, so think about these things, right? You might just need a test strategy, right? You might not need to keep studying and keep studying and keep studying. You might need to change what your focus is. You might need to focus on different things, okay? And if you're regrouping, give yourself 2 months to study and spend more time addressing your anxiety and self-confidence and study strategies. Yes, TDC does extend your time if you don't pass. I think that's great. All of my material is unlimited, so you could technically use it for a master's, clinical, use it however long you want to, because I understand, all of that. Okay. Oh, let's go back to the study plans. Okay. So here's the time frame. What time we got? Okay, I'm almost done. Here's the time frames. And then I'll answer your questions. When you get within a month of testing, you need to be studying every single day. You need to eat, sleep, and breathe the material, okay? It's like you're online for a sorority or fraternity, and you need to be able to spit that stuff out. It should be coming out like this, okay? Here's a sample study plan. Some people like to start with the code of ethics. Yeah, code of ethics. You bring up a good point, Claudia. For those who are parents, how do you juggle a routine, a study routine? How do you get into your routine? What are some things that you do, right? Some people like to do code of ethics, or you could do human behavior first. It just depends on you. But I kind of laid out some topic by topic, how to get through the weeks. I have 9 weeks, so it's not like a full 3 months, but at least 9 weeks should be good. But you want to stretch it out, and things come up. Sometimes life comes up, not sometimes, all the time. I don't know about you. I lost my father-in-law in June, and I know many people that have lost a lot of family members. Your mother or father may get sick. You may need to help them. Don't put so much pressure on yourself, right? Life comes up and you need to be able to address that. The test, can be there when you get back. Okay, preparing for the test, here are some tips. Make sure that we talked about all these things. Make sure you're having some type of relaxation or breathing techniques that you do weekly or every day or every time you study. Oh, yes. Yes. If you have a great job where you can study, I would come into my job early. DSS, I would come early. Also, make sure that you have the right supports in place. Okay. Make sure you have the right supports in place. I would ask my supervisor, can I take the rest of the day to study? And she'd be like, sure. Right. So, and ask your job, how are they supporting you in getting the licensure? Are they going to give you more time? And are they going to also, they might pay for me. They might pay for me. They might pay for my classes. Ask if they'll pay. Let me go back. Someone asked me to go back. I'm going to also put this on my Facebook for you to download as well. So don't worry. But this is week 1 through week 5. And then 6 through 9. Yes. Make sure you like my page. Would you recommend for those taking it first? What would you recommend for those taking it the first week in December? So right now you should be in the, I would say like within the 2-month range. Is it 2? Yeah, like 2-month range. So 3 times a week for at least 3 hours each time, right? And you can break it up. Morning, I'll do an hour. Lunch, I'll do my lunch right before bed, or whatever works for you. But you got to get that study time in, and also make sure you have an agenda. Okay, don't just like haphazardly study. Okay, have an agenda. And then also if you're regrouping and you're studying, like this is not your first time studying, then you might not have to study as much, but more review certain things. Like if you need to improve on ethics, you might need to just kind of focus on ethics for a while and things like that. Make sure you download an app. Some of these are free. Some of these, they cost a little. Headspace, do some breathing techniques, relaxation. Does anybody do this? I recommend it. I need to do it for myself, actually. Any meditation? Anybody meditate? Anybody? Y'all can teach us. Y'all need to do a class on meditation if you are good at it. Okay. Write down your fears for 10 minutes. Yeah, staying consistent is the issue. Yeah. Work on minimizing your need to be perfect. That might be, take a little time to do that, but I am a perfectionist. You got to minimize it because it's not impossible for this test. You're not going to be perfect. The day of the test, get a good night rest, eat a nutritious breakfast with that granola butter. I got to look that up. Arrive at your test site early. Again, get your mindset ready if you have to wear a mask the whole time, things like that. Positive affirmations, we're going to go over some. Take breaks during the test, but not too many. That's why I say do that practice test, mimic what you would actually do so you'll know. Because you might be a one-time break. You can only do one break because you read the question 5 times. That's okay, as long as you can get finished. If reading it 5 times gets you the right answer, then okay. Or you might need to take breaks because you can't sit that long. So just keep in mind that the breaks are not included in your time. So the time is still going to keep going. And I don't know about your test centers, but once I raised my hand, it took them a little time to like come and get me and take me to the bathroom. So it takes time. So just keep that in mind. This is my strategy. It does not work for all. Answer the questions you know first. If you run out of time, and you may not know that, this might be your first time, but if you take too much time when you do your practice test, if you're like 3 hours and 50 minutes, this strategy may not be for you. Okay. But for me, I only answered the questions I knew first. If it took me too long to think about it, I skipped it, because the more answers that I knew I got right, the better I felt. So when I came to the difficult questions, I was able to say, well, I know I got a lot of right. I'm going to try to get this one right. But if I don't get it right, it's okay. I have a little room to spare, right? Only mark questions you're unsure about. Don't mark questions that nobody would ever know. Like, those questions, I sure can. Those questions that, like, they're like, what is the prevalence of that males have bipolar depression or something like that? Something that you wouldn't know unless you literally read the whole DSM-5. I don't know. I had vocabulary on my test I never heard of. So of course, afterwards, I'm like, I'm going to look that up. Afterwards, I had no idea. It's like, literally, I don't know if it's like MIB where they flash the thing and erase your whole memory. But once you come out the test, you do not really remember a whole lot. I've only had a couple of my clients remember like more than 10 questions. And I was writing it down. I'm like, oh, that was your scenario? Oh, okay. But you never remember the answers. I know, it's okay. It's you're not supposed to. Do not change your answer unless you missed a key concept. So unless you know you misread it, or you're like, oh my gosh, I was supposed to assess first and I didn't do that, then you can change it. Otherwise, don't change it. And only review the entire test before submission if you're crazy like me, psych. But you can't change your answers. So I did. I went back through the whole test. I looked at every single question, and I literally was not counting like physically, but like thinking in my head, oh, yep, got that one right. Yep, killed that one. Oop, who cares about that one? Have no idea. You know, I did that. It made me feel better. But for you, that might not be something you need to do if you're going to change the answers. You have to use affirmations, please. Please. Affirmation can work because it has the ability to program your mind into believing the stated concept. Fake it until you make it. Literally, my whole social work career is fake it until you make it, okay? Your fear of failure could be connected to your childhood. Now, this is deep, okay? But the root is that you feel like you're not enough. So you got to change that thinking. I mean, if you think that about everything in your life, you know, this test is going to be hard for you. I think I put it in this slide. If you need extra support, you can reach out, if you're still in school, to your school counselor, to your primary care physician, or a local mental health professional. Please, 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 please. Because I'm telling you, this test is traumatizing. And if you just let it, just the trauma, you just re-traumatize yourself over and over again, you're going to be burnt out, and then you're not going to even want to take the test anymore. Right? So make sure you're catching that stuff. Low confidence, we know it's bad. The test is not an indicator. I already went on my soapbox. I'm not going to revisit it, but you know. Read your affirmation every day, or at least before each study session. Say it out loud. Say it in the mirror. Surround yourself with people who believe in you. Those naysayers, those haters, they got to go. You can't talk to them. I'm telling you. If now, this might be your best friend, but if your best friend failed the social work exam 3 times and has nothing good to say about you trying to take it, then they gotta go. Okay, you can't be worried about them. You gotta be positive. I'm always positive, because you gotta be. Here are some affirmations. I believe everything works out for the best. A little Bible, sorry. A wrong answer is an opportunity to learn about areas I need to improve. Okay, so next time you get it wrong, that's what you need to say. I never give up. Think about all the things you've overcome in your life. Do not let this test negate everything. Yes, I'm going to send the PowerPoint. Absolutely. I can pass, right? I know I can accomplish anything I set my mind to. I know the material, and you do. I can crack the code to the test, and you will. I know how to process these questions. Maybe not this one, but the next one, right? Because some of them stump you, they're hard, okay? But you know how to process them, or at least you will know very, very soon, right? When you work with me. Common mindset errors. You're not facing your anxiety. You're not taking advantage of test accommodations if you qualify. You're becoming overwhelmed with the statistics. And you're becoming discouraged when you answer multiple wrong questions. We already talked about that. Overlooking your anxiety, right? When you're regrouping. Intellectualization. Y'all remember what that means? Intellectualization, right? So you're not focusing on your mindset. You're only focusing on research. You're just researching the test to death, okay? You're on the Facebook group. You need to get off. You need to silence the Facebook group. Get off the Facebook group. I love the Facebook group. But when you see all those fails, you see the passes, but you see the fails too. And then that might discourage you. So don't do that to yourself, okay? And yes, And you don't invite your family and friends. I know you don't want to tell anybody, right? You want to keep it a secret because if you don't pass, you don't want people to know that you didn't pass. So I get it. But you at least need to have one person that can be in your corner, whether that's your grandmother, your grandfather, your auntie, your uncle, somebody, your mentor. Somebody needs to know and be able to uplift you, because I'm telling you, you need all the good feels. Whoever thinks you're the best person in their life, in their world, might be your child. Like, mommy has a big test coming up. And, if your child is old enough to articulate, they're like, Mommy, you're going to pass the test. I know you can. You need to ask that child every day. Isn't mommy going to pass the test? Ask that child. I mean, children, they're fearless. You need a little bit of that. So make sure you do that. Here are some more tips. We already kind of talked about it. Again, I'm going to post the recording. I'm going to post the slides. You guys are going to have everything. I'm also going to post the list of stuff I wrote down that y'all need from me. So just make sure you subscribe to my email list. So my website is advancedsocialworksolutions.com. My email is info@advancedsocialworksolutions.com. If you have any questions, I will answer all questions. Like literally, I have clients that will screenshot questions and be like, okay, why did I get this wrong? And we'll work out multiple questions together over email. I don't do individual tutoring. I'm so sorry, but I will answer any question you have over email. Just give me like a couple days though, Don't let it be emergent because I have a baby and sometimes I don't answer my email or my Facebook messages. I'm so sorry. Okay, I have some things coming up. So first of all, let's talk about the replay bundle, the good old faithful. If you don't need to see me every week, right? If you are a little bit more motivated and want to do it on your own, then you're going to go to bit.ly/replay bundle, all in caps. It's only $70. You get a lot of stuff. You get over 16 hours of video content. It's literally my pre-recorded groups that I've done in the past. And the newest one, it'll say -R because it's revised. So it's the most recent group that I've had on that topic is on there. So you get that, you'll get the handouts, you'll get questions. There's over 150 questions. I don't have a full practice test as of yet. It's going to take me a little more time to get that developed. So I don't have it as of yet. Right now it is Google Drive and it's terrible. And I'm working really hard, hopefully within the next couple weeks, to transfer the material to a platform that's user-friendly. So for all those that had to deal with Google Drive and hated it, I'm so sorry. I'm going to correct it. But even though Google Drive sucks and you have to use your Gmail account, it is great. It's great material. I have handouts, questions, I break everything down. And I love when clients tell me they hear me in their head, like they hear my voice in the test center. That's what I need you to do. Like I need Dr. Boone in my head so she can help me figure out this, right? Yes, replay. So the upcoming series that I'm doing is live. So a lot of people rather have me live. One, because they could ask me questions on the spot. And two, because you have a built-in study routine, right? So I am sorry if your test is before December 21st. It's hard to plan it out. So you might want to do some replays. I do have individual replays for $17. And Jamie, yeah. And so the live are on here. There's only one day that's not a Thursday. It's December 21st is a Tuesday, because I didn't want to go into the new year or go kind of past Christmas. Each of them are $37. Because you are my honored guest tonight, I had a lot of discounts going on, okay? So if you are, this is your first live class with me or purchasing anything from me, then the first, yes, I do. The first class, Human Behavior, on November 4th, you're going to get $20 off. So the promo code is 20 OFF, and it's only good for the first. I'm going to put it in the comments too on Facebook. $20 off. So typically, if you've already purchased like Human Behavior because you were just so excited I was back, then I gave you the $20 off. If I didn't, just let me know. If you, okay, yes, I had a question. If you previously purchased the replay bundle, like when it first came out, I do have a revised version. I revised it earlier this year, like around, I think it was like May, I revised it. So go ahead and let me know, just email me and I'll send you the new version. Also, if you have purchased if you purchased the replay bundle already and are interested in the live classes, I am excited to tell you that you will get all of the classes $20 off for being my loyal customer. You just have to email me so that I can verify that you did purchase something from me before giving out the code. Yes, you can. If you've gotten a replay bundle before, you can get a revised copy. Yes, you can. If you don't already have it, again, if you purchased it after May of this year, then it's revised. But if you purchased it like last year, it's no problem. I can update it for you. If you have done a live class with me and bought the bundle. So normally my bundle, like last time, I think the bundle was like $217. The last series might have been a little cheaper. So what I want you to do is email me if you have bought a bundle of classes. That means you bought all 6, all 8, or all 10. I think one time I had 10 classes. If you bought all the classes at once, then email me and you will also get some freebies as well. You get some free classes and then also the $20 off. So if you're new to me, never purchased anything from me, you can get $20 off of November 4th. And the promo code is 20 OFF. And the website is going to be bit.ly/ASWS event, all in caps. And then it should have an area where you do promo code. I do have a $1.90 fee. I don't have a VIP bundle for this series. I'm still traumatized from having to cancel classes last time in the series. I'm a little traumatized. So I said, we're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to offer individual classes. That way, if I have an emergency, I can just cancel it. What's the website again? Yes, Advanced Social Work Solutions.com is the website. And my email is on the screen. Oh, I have the promo code right here on the screen. Yes, 20 off. This is awesome. Yay. I really like how you simplify the content. I love the like method. If you love the like method, I'm going to go over the liked method, LIKED, next week. So we're going to be here next week, same time. We're going to do the Zoom and the Facebook Live because I just had so many people. We had about 140 people total. So that's great. I'm so excited. Let me go back and make sure I answer everybody's questions. So go ahead and type if I missed your question or anything, just let me know. Is there a way for you to purchase multiple sessions instead of one at a time? No, I'm sorry. It's one at a time. I'm so sorry about that. What's the price to purchase the recorded and live? So the price, okay, it's different. Okay, so the price for the live is $37 per class, but you get $20 off the first class. Okay, then which is live. Yes, the $20 off is for the live class. The bundle is already on sale. I'm sorry. It's normally $97, but it's been $70 for a while because I felt bad that I was not, I was on maternity leave, so I left it at $70. So that's already on sale. And oh man, I forgot what was the question. Let me go back. Mommy brain, I already forgot it. Yes, 37. Oh, okay. So let's say you don't want to do the live class and you want to do the recorded. That's where you can also go to this website right here, the bit.ly/replay bundle. And I also have $17 individual. So just, make sure that you are weighing out the costs, right? Because by the time you purchase 4, you might as well purchase all of them. So just, keep that in mind. Also, I forgot to mention this. Also, if you want to do the whole series and you don't test until after December 21st, you want to do a whole series, then I am offering buy 4 classes, get the last 2 free. So if you buy November 4th, November 11th, November 18th, December 2nd, then you'll get December 16th and December 21st free. So I'm not fancy. I don't have a promo code that does it automatically. So you'll just have to email me and say, hey, Dr. Boone, I purchased 4 classes. I'll go on there. I'll verify. I mean, normally don't lie to me. And then I'll add you to the last 2 classes. So if you purchase the replay bundle, it's up to you. You get $20 off all of the classes. So you might just want to pick and choose which ones you do. Or it might just help you get back in the swing of studying or help your studying until you get to the test. So it's just up to you. It is going to be the same material, but you get me live. You get to kind of, pick my brain. The questions are going to be the same too. So if you're thinking I'm going to have like double questions, I do not. So keep that in mind too. That's going to be same questions. If you put, okay. What's the difference between the classes on the replay and the group? They're the same thing, actually. Same exact thing. Same exact PowerPoint. You're getting everything the same. It's just that people like me live versus the replay. Because the replay, you don't really play it or you get distracted. With the live, you kind of have to pay attention, right? Because like class, you have to pay attention. All of the classes, all of the material, everything is as long as you need it. It's unlimited. If anything gets broken, like sometimes a link will get broken because maybe I move stuff around. Sorry. I move stuff around, then I'll just give you the link again. Just have to let me know. What's the date for the latest version of the bundle? If you bought it in May, that's the latest version. I think my latest version is in March. So the one, I think it was Richard that asked about March, or Richards that asked about March. I have to double check. So just send me an email. Yes, I will definitely give you the scriptures. What's the date for the latest? Yeah. I love your energy. Okay, I did want to tell you about my classes. So my class setup is similar to this. We lecture for an hour and a half, and then we do questions for an hour. The questions are on the poll. So I love the poll because what happens if we do it in the chat box, everybody, puts their answer in, and then you just go with D because everybody put D, right? So on the poll, you get to independently pick your answer. And we go over 10 questions live, and then you have 15 questions for homework. Okay. You can print the material. So unfortunately, I do not send you the printed material. You're going to have to print it on your own. I haven't had a lot of people say they had problems printing it. So it should be printer friendly. Everything is PDF, so it should be printer friendly. Yes, it is going to be the same material. It's not updated. The only thing that, anything that I would update, I would either I'll probably put it on YouTube. Like I found some material about LGBTQ+, like terms and stuff. The code of ethics has changed. There's 2021 updates. So those things I'm planning to put that on YouTube. But it's good to see you. Replay are the videos similar to today. Yeah, it's similar in terms of the style. Yeah, similar to the style. Okay, let me go back on Facebook. Okay, how do I get the classes free in addition to doing the code for the 20 off? So you can do the 20 off for human behavior diversity only. It's only that one that's 20 off. Then if you buy also November 11th, November 18th, and December 2nd, you also get December 16th and December 21st free. But that's if you're doing all the classes together. That's how you get those for free. Do you suggest using this for the clinical exam as well? So I always do it lightly, right? Because I do know that the clinical is different and it's more in depth. There are things that you need to know in terms of like clinical interventions, differential diagnosis. These are things that you need to know. So my material does not go into depth on those things, but I have had, and you can look on my Facebook under my reviews, I've had several people that took the clinical exam and passed it using my material. So it's just use it with caution. You know, I understand that you kind of want material specifically for you. But the great thing is that I'm more of a strategist and a breaker downer. So I break down things and I teach you strategy, and that is applicable to all levels. So I always say it's beneficial to all exams, but it's designed for the master's level. Do I offer military discounts? Email me, we can work something out with the live sessions. Would it be advisable to follow along with the replay bundle if you have already purchased the replay bundle? Yeah, like I said, it's going to be the same material. So if you're having trouble with the replay bundle, like for example, if you are not watching the videos, like you have the material, but you just aren't like engaged with it, you need that structured time, then I would suggest maybe doing the live too. I know all the time I get clients that say, I have the replay bundle, but I want the live too. So it's a definitely a preference. I know I did not answer all these questions. Let me make sure. Oh, thank you. So if you purchase the replay bundle, will you receive any written materials by email? The answer is no. Everything is on Google Drive. So you can go on Google Drive, you can download it. Some people say they have problems with the videos, which is irritating me. Not that it's you bringing it up, but it's irritating me that it's not working sometimes. So I just send you another link that should work. And then, you know, if you're like, oh my gosh, nothing is working, I can't access anything, of course, I'll just give you a refund. But it's nothing coming in the mail. There's no like packet coming in the mail. It's all virtual. Thank you. I am a new time parent. I should have put my baby on this presentation, but you see him on my Instagram and Facebook. I just love him. He's so cute. I purchased 3 of the live classes in February and March and received your PowerPoint, but I did not get your practice exams. Okay, please email me. Just let me know. How do you pay? So you go to the links, both of those links. One is I use Square and the other one I use Stripe. So you'll pay with a credit card, debit card, but it goes through a platform, secure platform. I don't like take payments personally. How long does it take before I receive a confirmation email? If you purchase the replay bundle during my live session, then you know, it's going to take me until after I'm done to send it to you. But I normally send out the email for the replay bundle within 2 hours. Sometimes I fall without the 2 hours, and that's during like business hours. So if you purchase it at 12 midnight, obviously you'll get it like at 8 o'clock the next, at 8 o'clock that same day. But if you purchased it like yesterday and you haven't gotten anything, then it might be in your junk, or just email me and I'll resend the email. Failed 2 months ago, forward 2 points. What is next? Yes, feeling desperate. Yes, I know. You're feeling desperate, especially if you have done this rodeo before. These lines are irritating me. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So I know that you're a lot of people are desperate. And so that's why I try to be as affordable as I can, because I really don't want to break your pockets, because I know you're like trying to find something that works for you. So there is a possibility that this may not work for you, right? I do have people that it maybe did not help, but for the most part, a lot of people say it's very, very helpful. I don't have a pass rate only because I have so many different like ways that people get my material, but that's why I like to post my testimonials. And I've definitely helped over 100 people. I know that because I'm past 100 testimonials. Like I had to create a new reel on a new category on my Instagram for more testimonials, right? Because I have so many. So I cannot guarantee nobody can guarantee a pass. So I can't guarantee a pass. But what I can guarantee is that you'll get all of me. You'll get my positivity, my energy, and you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. But people pass on other material too. And that's fine too. You know, if you're like, oh, Agents of Change is where it's at, TDC is where it's at, you know, that's great too. I'm not downing anybody. You might need individual tutoring, that's fine too. But I'm just here to help you in any way that I can. It really is my passion. I really, really enjoy it. So when I get the I passed, I have some in my email right now that I haven't posted yet, because you know I'm just a little busy. But I get so excited. Like I literally get excited because I know how much it took for you to pass. So it's coming. It's coming for you. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, yes. Friends from University of Maryland, I'm so glad you passed. Do I have to register again for your session to receive the Zoom link for next week? Yes. So we're going to do the same thing. Zoom did not crash. We did get to 100. So some people might not have been able to join us, but for the most part, by 7 o'clock, we weren't at 100. So just do the same thing, register for next week, and I'll post it again. It's pinned on my business page though. And you'll get the Zoom link and you can do the same thing. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? I see you shout me out on Facebook. I really appreciate it. My tribe is my best promoters. I mean, I'm like definitely holding a baby, you know, late at night. And I'm like, is somebody talking about me on Facebook? I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Do you send a link on Messenger, or how do you get to the Facebook page? Oh, good question. So if you put on Facebook at Advance SWS, you'll in the search bar, you will find my page, and make sure you like it. You can also subscribe to my email on my website, advancedsocialworksolutions.com. And I'm not going to put it on Facebook because you're literally on my page now to view it. So you guys know how to get to it. Any other questions? Any questions I did not answer? Is this video being recorded? Yes, it is. And it should automatically save on Facebook, but I'll put a link for you guys to view. I'll put it on YouTube. Do you have sessions on just practice questions? Yes. So I have a session, individual session, practice questions only. It's $17. It's probably one of my best individual replays. Or if you have time on December 21st and you don't have your test date is not coming up yet, that's the full thing. So next week, we're gonna go over 101, the like method. We're gonna do 10 questions. That's it. We're gonna do 10 questions. I'm gonna show you how to do the like method, and that's it. On the 21st, you're gonna get 2.5 hours. I'm gonna go through tips. I'm gonna go through how to identify what type of question it is in more depth. And then we're gonna go over several questions, right? So it's gonna be more questions. So that's what you're getting for December 21st for your extra monies. versus the free one where we're just gonna go over some questions. I know next week you're gonna love it. It's gonna be good. Let's see. Okay, if I purchase the replay bundle, all classes will be 20 off. Yes, the answer is yes. But you have to email me to get the promo code. So the only promo code that I've shared on here is the 20 off. That's for everybody. Okay. Then for those that have been my client and have purchased things from me before, email me so that you can get the other promo codes. Okay. What time? I'm so sorry. There's no time on this flyer. I'm so sorry. The time is 7 p.m. to 9:30 typically. And it's Eastern Standard Time. So I think let me get it right. CST, Central Standard Time, is 6 o'clock. And then Pacific Standard Time is 4 o'clock, which is kind of early. I'm sorry. But for Eastern Standard Time, it's 7 to 9:30. Yes, I do have sessions in November. They won't be free though. I'm starting my paid series in November. So the dates on the screen. Okay. It's 8:30. So I've been talking a very long time. So yes, I got you with the scriptures. I'm going to post that. I wrote it down. I'm going to post the scriptures, a link for a learning style quiz, and I forgot already. The PowerPoint, the Quizlet, and the recorded video from tonight. You'll get all of that. And you can email me. Email me all your questions. I'm sorry I was shouting out so many people. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see some of these names and, see that they're still doing well. And I'm here for you. You can do it. You're so welcome. Everybody's welcome. I love doing this. Again, no question is stupid. You can literally screenshot me stuff and I will respond. Just give me a couple of days. I'll respond and I'll be like, hey, this is why it's the answer. This is why this one's not the answer. And this is why it cost you. It cost you, all those things. Hi, I see some names I recognize. I miss you guys. Okay, so I will see you next week, same time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will promote so you won't forget. I'll email you so you won't forget. And have a good night, everyone. I'm gonna go see my baby now. And my husband. He's important too. But the baby. Good night. Let me see y'all faces on here. See, oh, you leaving. I see y'all faces. Let me stop my live. Hold on. I see my friend Nikita. We gotta hang out soon. Miss you. All right, see you guys. Thank you guys for joining. Love you. I'm gonna end it, but I'll see you next week. See you, Lisa.